In the heart of the vast mesa, where rolling hills met the endless sky, a skilled midwife named Clara lived a life devoted to helping animals give birth. Known for her gentle hands and wise demeanor, she was the go-to person for ranchers facing complicated deliveries. Clara had spent years honing her craft, learning from both books and experience. She could calmly assist in the delivery of everything from sheep to horses, but it was the difficult births of calves that truly showcased her remarkable talents. Clara's reputation spread far and wide, making her a beloved figure among ranchers. They admired not only her skills but also her compassion for each animal she helped. Whenever a cow struggled during labor, ranchers would call out for Clara, knowing she could bring new life into the world even in the toughest situations. However, Clara wasn't just known for her expertise, she was also fiercely independent. Living alone in a cozy cabin at the edge of the ranches, she valued her freedom and took pride in helping others without expectation. Little did she know that her next call would lead to an unexpected turn of events involving a cattle baron who would test her limits and challenge her beliefs about worth and respect. At the sprawling cattle ranch just outside Mesa, the air was thick with tension. The cattle baron, Mr. Thompson, paced anxiously in the barn as he watched his prized cow, Bessie, struggle in labor. This was no ordinary delivery. Bessie was carrying a breech calf, and time was running out. As a prominent figure in the community, Mr. Thompson had always prided himself on his ability to manage any situation, but this was different. He felt a knot tightening in his stomach as he realized he had never dealt with a breech birth before. With each passing minute, Bessie's distressed moos echoed through the barn, and panic began to set in. Mr. Thompson's heart raced. The stakes were high. If something went wrong, he could lose not only the calf but also Bessie, a valuable member of his herd. After weighing his options, he knew there was only one person capable of handling this urgent situation, Clara. Despite his reluctance to ask for help from anyone, especially a woman, he had no choice. Swallowing his pride, Mr. Thompson grabbed his hat and headed out to find Clara, hoping she would arrive in time to save both mother and calf. As Mr. Thompson stood outside the barn, staring at the door, he felt a mix of embarrassment and desperation swirling in his chest. He had always been a man of control and authority, priding himself on handling any issue that arose on his ranch. The idea of calling for help, especially from Clara, stirred feelings he was not accustomed to confronting. After all, she was merely a midwife. How could he, a cattle baron, seek assistance from someone whose skills were often dismissed by those in his social circle? But Bessie's labored breaths filled his ears with urgency. Time was slipping away, and in that moment of panic, Mr. Thompson realized that pride would not save his cow. Gritting his teeth, he finally reached for his weathered hat and strode towards the cabin where Clara lived. Each step felt heavy as he rehearsed how to ask for her help. Would she even want to assist someone of his stature after all the times he'd turned down her services? As he approached Clara's door, doubts swirled in his mind, but deep down, he knew that ignoring the situation could cost him dearly. With a shaky hand, he knocked, hoping she would answer quickly and without hesitation. Clara rushed into the barn, her heart racing as she assessed the situation. Bessie lay on the straw-covered floor, panting heavily and clearly in distress. Mr. Thompson stood nearby, his hands clenched at his sides, skepticism still flickering in his eyes. Clara took a deep breath and moved closer to the cow, pushing aside the baron's doubts with her calm presence. "Stay close and hold her steady," Clara instructed, her voice firm yet soothing. As she positioned herself to examine Bessie, she focused entirely on the task at hand, blocking out any distractions. She could feel the tension in the air, but her years of experience had prepared her for moments like this. With careful movements, Clara felt for the calf's position. Time was critical. If Bessie was to deliver safely, Clara had to act quickly. She gently guided Bessie through contractions, encouraging her with soft words. The barn echoed with sounds of labor, the low moos and Clara's steady voice cutting through the panic. Finally, after tense moments that felt like hours, Clara felt the calf begin to shift. With one last push from Bessie and a precise maneuver from Clara, the breech calf was born. As it let out its first cry, Clara looked up to see Mr. Thompson's astonished expression transform into one of relief and gratitude. As the Breech calf let out its first cry, a wave of relief washed over Clara. She gently placed the small, wet creature on the straw beside Bessie, who immediately began licking her newborn, ushering in a brilliant moment of connection between mother and calf. Mr. Thompson stood frozen in awe, his skepticism replaced by sheer gratitude as he watched Clara work her magic. "She's perfect," he exclaimed, his voice filled with emotion as he took a step closer. The initial tension in the barn melted away, replaced by warmth and joy. Clara beamed with pride at both the mother and her calf, marveling at the life she had helped bring into the world. For the first time that day, Mr. Thompson loosened his grip on his hat, allowing a smile to spread across his face. "I owe you an apology, Clara," he said sincerely, looking her directly in the eyes. "You truly are remarkable." In that moment, an unspoken bond formed between them, a shared acknowledgement of skill and respect that neither had expected. Clara felt a new sense of appreciation from the cattle baron, and she realized this experience had not only saved Bessie but also deepened their connection. After the excitement of the successful delivery, the atmosphere in the barn shifted as Mr. Thompson approached Clara. The immediate gratitude he felt began to fade, replaced by a sense of pride that made him hesitant to acknowledge her contributions fully. "You know, Clara," he started, adjusting his hat nervously, "you shouldn't expect payment for your services. A skilled professional like you should be honored for helping others." Clara looked at him, confusion twisting her brow. "I appreciate your sentiment, Mr. Thompson, but my work is valuable, and I believe in being compensated fairly for it." She crossed her arms, feeling a wave of frustration rising within her. She had spent years perfecting her craft and knew that every life she helped was worth more than just a kind word. Mr. Thompson, unaware of the tension he was creating, insisted, "Your talent is a gift to this community, it shouldn't have a price tag. Just knowing you saved Bessie and her calf is enough." Clara felt her heart sink as she realized that his view of honor could undermine her hard work and dedication. It was clear they were at an impasse, one that would require more than just words to resolve. Clara took a deep breath, her frustration simmering just below the surface. She had dedicated her life to helping animals, pouring her heart and soul into each birth she attended. The cattle baron's refusal to acknowledge her worth felt like a slap in the face. "I understand that you believe my services should be honored," she began, her voice steady despite the emotions swirling inside her, "but that does not mean I should not be compensated for my expertise." Mr. Thompson looked taken aback by her firm stance. Clara saw the confusion on his face, yet she knew she had to stand her ground. "Every life I help is a testament to my dedication and skill. This isn't just a hobby for me, it's my profession." She felt empowered as she spoke, realizing that her value wasn't defined by others' opinions. Determined to assert herself, Clara made the choice to refuse any notion of working for free. "If I am to continue helping this community, I must be respected as a professional," she declared. In that moment, Clara understood the importance of advocating for herself, not just for her own sake but for all those who shared her passion for their work. It was time to redefine the relationship between them and ensure that her contributions were recognized and valued appropriately. As the tension in the barn escalated, Mr. Thompson's frustration boiled over. Feeling cornered by Clara's refusal to accept his terms, he impulsively decided to take drastic measures. "If you won't accept my generosity," he declared, his voice rising, "then perhaps I need to make it clear how valuable your skills are." In a sudden move, he blocked Clara's exit and demanded that she stay until she reconsidered her stance. Clara's heart raced as she realized the gravity of the situation. "You can't just keep me here," she said firmly, her calm demeanor cracking slightly under the pressure. "This isn't how we solve disagreements." Mr. Thompson, however, was blinded by his pride and firmly believed that holding her hostage would force her acceptance. As minutes turned into an uncomfortable silence, Clara took a deep breath and resolved to stay composed. She understood that yielding would only reinforce his view of her work as unworthy of payment. Instead, she sought a different approach, one that could turn this tense moment into an opportunity for dialogue. "Mr. Thompson," she began slowly, "let's talk about this instead of resorting to threats. You may find that respecting my work will benefit both of us." With each word, Clara hoped to shift the dynamics and remind him of the respect they had built together during Bessie's delivery. As Clara stood her ground, the atmosphere in the barn shifted from confrontation to a tension-filled standoff. Mr. Thompson, arms crossed and brow furrowed, paced back and forth, clearly struggling with his emotions. "You should be glad I'm giving you this opportunity," he snapped, but Clara could see the uncertainty in his eyes. "Opportunity?" she replied, her voice steady. "This isn't an opportunity, it's a threat." Despite the dire situation, Clara sensed a change in Mr. Thompson's demeanor. He was used to commanding respect through authority, but here, he was out of his depth. She found herself feeling a strange sense of pity for him. Their conversations turned from accusations to moments of surprising vulnerability. As they debated the value of her work, Clara realized that Mr. Thompson was not just a stubborn cattle baron, he was a man grappling with his own insecurities about the changing world around him. "I respect your skills," he admitted during one tense moment, his tone softer. "But I can't let my pride take a hit." Clara nodded, recognizing that beneath his tough exterior lay a man who was learning to appreciate her worth. With every exchange, their growing mutual respect began to dissolve the barriers between them, hinting at a potential resolution both had yet to fully realize. Clara knew she had to take control of the situation, so she devised a clever plan to turn the tables on Mr. Thompson while proving her worth. As they continued to talk, she began to emphasize the importance of the skills she had developed over the years, detailing her training and experience in a way that made it clear how crucial her role was in the community. "Mr. Thompson," she said thoughtfully, "what if I agree to stay and help you with your ranch's livestock? I could teach your ranch hands valuable skills regarding animal care and birthing techniques." She continued, laying out her vision for a workshop that could benefit his entire operation. "In exchange, you will compensate me fairly for my time and knowledge," she stated firmly. This proposition caught Mr. Thompson off guard. As he considered the idea, Clara seized the moment to highlight the value of her expertise. Through these discussions, she made it evident that her work deserved respect and that he would gain much more than just a midwife, he would gain an ally who could enhance his livelihood. By reframing their relationship, Clara aimed not only to secure her freedom but also to teach Mr. Thompson that investing in others' work could lead to mutual benefit. This plan empowered her and could pave the way for a more respectful partnership. As Clara presented her plan, a spark of understanding ignited in Mr. Thompson's eyes. She could see him weighing the value of her proposal, realizing that his initial approach might have cost him more than he intended. Slowly, he began to lower his defenses and listen intently. Clara seized the moment, leveraging their newfound respect to propose a trial period where she would teach his ranch hands while also gaining the payment she deserved. Over the next few days, Clara worked diligently with the ranch hands, showcasing her expertise and dedication. As they learned from her, Mr. Thompson watched closely, noticing the positive changes in both animals and staff alike. He began to reflect on his earlier beliefs about worth and relationships, witnessing how Clara's skills enhanced not only his operation but also the overall morale of his team. Finally, during one of their sessions, Clara decided to confront the issue directly. "Mr. Thompson," she said boldly, "by valuing my contributions, you strengthen both of us." Inspired by her bravery and commitment, he nodded slowly, an acknowledgement blooming within him. By the end of the week, Mr. Thompson approached Clara with sincerity. "I see now how valuable you truly are," he admitted, offering her a fair payment for her services. With that simple gesture of respect, Clara felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had gained not only her freedom but also the recognition she deserved. In the aftermath of their intense confrontation, both Clara and Mr. Thompson found themselves transformed by the experience. Clara emerged not only with the respect she had long sought but also with a deepened sense of her own worth. Teaching the ranch hands had allowed her to share her knowledge and skills, fostering a spirit of collaboration that extended beyond their initial tension. For Mr. Thompson, the journey was equally profound. He learned that vulnerability could coexist with strength, and his willingness to accept Clara's expertise began to reshape his views on leadership and respect. No longer seeing her merely as a midwife, he recognized her as a valuable partner in the community whose contributions could enhance his ranch and uplift those who worked for him. As they embarked on this new partnership, Clara and Mr. Thompson began to bridge gaps that once seemed insurmountable. The experience forged a bond built on mutual respect, understanding, and shared goals, an alliance that promised benefits for both their lives and the greater community. Together, they envisioned a future where knowledge flowed freely, where Clara's talents were honored, and where Mr. Thompson's ranch became a model of collaboration and growth. With newfound optimism, they stepped forward into a richer partnership, creating a legacy that would inspire others in their town for years to come.